Hello everybody, my name's Sir David Normington and I'm the chairman of Birmingham Royal Ballet, and it's great to see so many of you here today. It's my great pleasure to welcome you, our friends, our supporters, our partners to this season launch this afternoon. Can I also extend a particular welcome to Sir Peter Wright, who's our Director Laureate. He's known to a lot of you. We wouldn't be in Birmingham without him. So, Peter, it's really nice to see you. So this afternoon we are going to share with you how Birmingham Royal Ballet is going to be developing over the next 18 months. But I just want briefly just to remind you that it's almost 30 years since in 1990, Sir Peter and Birmingham City Council, and supported by the Arts Council, had the vision to bring Sadler's Wells Royal Ballet, as it then was, from its London home to become Birmingham Royal Ballet. I think the civic leaders of the time had no doubt about the social and economic benefit to the city of building its cultural assets and proving that you didn't need to be based in London to be a nationally and internationally known and respected classical ballet company. Birmingham Royal Ballet has more than repaid the confidence which the city placed in it all those years ago. We've brought well over 1.5 million people from near and far to the Hippodrome, our home, to see both traditional ballets, world premieres of new works and contemporary ballet. We help with our partners in other arts organisations to attract over £20 million of public funding each year to the arts in Birmingham from Arts Council England, proportionately more than any other region outside London. We introduce dance to thousands of young people each year in Birmingham schools. And as you've just seen, our second company, Free Fall, provides local people with severe learning disabilities the opportunity to experience the joy of dance. No other ballet company has anything like it. I should at this point introduce Amy, who is, as you can see, signing. Thank you very much, Amy. We are here in Birmingham Royal Ballet part of a thriving arts scene in Birmingham, which is, we believe, at least in part, why the city is such a draw for professional and financial services firms at the moment, and why people want to come and work and live and shop here. But we do a great deal more. It was never the vision that this company would be simply a provincial ballet company. The whole point was to be a world-class company taking classical ballet from our base in Birmingham to the rest of the country and sometimes to other parts of the world, and taking the name of Birmingham with us. And with the help of the Arts Council and you, our friends, our loyal supporters, that's what we do year in, year out. It's what we intend to go on doing. It's good for the city, the region, the country, and I believe for classical ballet in the UK and worldwide. Now, last week, as you all know, we announced that Carlos Acosta is to be BRB's new director. And I am really delighted to welcome Carlos here today. We're going to hear from him shortly, but it'd be nice to give him a great round of applause. That news, as you know, was greeted with almost universal excitement from our supporters. We've just heard more of it, and it was carried by news media around the globe. And I found my words being translated into Spanish, which was very interesting. And in Spanish, I am el presidente, and I really like that. But Carlos's appointment, of course, is a statement that this company intends to build on David Bintley's great legacy and to carry on with the mission of carrying great ballet from Birmingham and taking it out to the world. Thank you, Carlos, for agreeing to be our next director. Thank you for being here. I think I speak for the whole company, I know I do, when I say we're really looking forward to working with you. The 2019-20 season, about which you will hear shortly, is the beginning of our transition to the next phase in BRB's story. To those of you here who are from Birmingham, we hope you will begin to love and support us all over again. And to all of you, please look at us afresh and be very excited about the possibilities that lie ahead for this company and for British Ballet. Now, you're going to hear from lots of people, and we're going to start by hearing from Councillor Jane Francis briefly, who's the Cabinet Member for Education, Skills and Culture at Birmingham City Council. And also, we're going to hear from the Lord Mayor, Councillor Yvonne Mosquito. We're really glad to have you here. Thank you so much for coming and welcoming the audience and Carlos to Birmingham. I think you're going to come down and you'll find when you get here that you can't see anything because of the lights, so be prepared for that.
I see what you mean. I think we'll take two things. I absolutely see what Sir David means. Thank you very much. I am very, very happy to be here, very pleased, very excited for BRB, and this is a brilliantly exciting time for arts and culture organisations in Birmingham. There is so much going on. I think I've had my allotted 10 seconds of speech because the good person on my right, the Lord Mayor of Birmingham...
I will tell you what happened. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. When I heard about Mr. Acosta, and in the African Caribbean community, we say Mr. when we're showing you respect. So it's not a sign of, but it's a sign of great respect. When I heard that you were coming, and I raised this with my daughter, she said, Carlos Acosta, Mummy? I said, yes. She said, do you know how revered this man is across all the dance spectrums? I said, because of course you are very old, Mummy, so you wouldn't know this, but he is absolutely fabulous. And for the first time as Lord Mayor, I abused my position. I said, how on earth could the cabinet member be speaking when I am the first citizen? And the first citizen needs to be speaking. So I took the cabinet member's speech. I stole her speech. So I'm now going to deliver to you, sir, my speech. You can I get to head no, I don't mind sharing the limelight with you, Mr. Costa. As first citizen, and on behalf of Birmingham City Council, I'd like to stress this city is incredibly proud to have our own major ballet company with its own orchestra at the heart of our city. We are thrilled at the announcement of Carlos Acosta has drawn worldwide attention to Birmingham, from the New York Times to Globovision, the news network for Latin America with 5 billion followers. Wow. His appointment, which building on all that David Bentley has achieved, reflects our vision of Birmingham as a world championing diversity. I cannot wait to hear your plans. And thank you so very much for coming to Birmingham. Yay!
Well, that's a really hard act to follow. Thank you, Lord Mayor. Not something I ever thought I'd say about a Lord Mayor, but thank you so much, Yvonne. Hello, I'm Fiona Allen, Chief Executive and Artistic Director of Birmingham Hippodrome. We are so proud that BRB have made their home here on our campus and to have had a strong partnership with the company for, as Sir David said, nearly 30 years. And again, thank you to Sir Peter for that. At the core of this partnership is presenting the company 4 times a year on our main stage. It forms the backbone of the Hippodrome's dance program and attracts around 100,000 people every year. But not only that, our work together extends into this Patrick studio, where you are right now. Here we've presented performances by local primary school children taking part in BRB's dance track, as well as free fall shows. These form a vital part of an extensive dance program that we have in this space. We have worked together with BRB to conceive and construct the Dance Hub project, located on the new floor, just up there, above BRB's rehearsal studios, which will open as the newest part of our campus in late spring this year. With this addition, and considering Dance Exchange and One Dance UK also in residence, it will make this Hippodrome campus the largest cluster of dance companies and performers outside London. As this year marks 120 years of there being a theatre here on this site, we think that opening a new dance space is a terrific way to celebrate. Finally, almost finally, penultimately, we would like to say a huge thank you to David Bindley for everything he has done for the Hippodrome, our shared audiences in this city for over the last 24 years. I've heard a little from him of his future plans and think they're very exciting. And of course, it's wonderful news that Carlos will be the new director of BRB. We have a long relationship with Carlos already as a performer. I think you've performed here on 3 tours so far, the last with Acosta Dancer, his own company, who will be coming here again this autumn. That's a little plug for selling tickets. So, don't forget Carlos's company, Acosta Dancer, this autumn. And we already know from this that he has a vast number of fans here in Birmingham who just can't wait for him to be here. So from everyone from Birmingham Hippodrome, we'd just like to say welcome to Carlos. Thank you.
Thank you, Fiona. I'm Caroline Miller. I'm the Chief Executive of BRB, and I have the very happy task of telling you about the 2019-20 season. But I can't talk about the new season without talking about the first 6 months of 2019. And for the whole of the next 6 months, we will be celebrating the finale of David Bintley's directorship. And the reason that David isn't with us today is because he is upstairs in a studio doing a full run of his wonderful production of Beauty and the Beast, which opens in Southampton next week. Now, over the next 6 months, we have many moments of celebration for David, and we've written to many of our friends, but if any of you want to know more about how you can be involved in celebrating David's directorship, please do ask me or any of the staff. So the new 2019-20 season starts in September, and David Bintley finishes at the end of June at Birmingham and at Sadler's Wells. And then Carlos Acosta will start as our new director in January 2020. But we are very pleased that we announced to the company last week that Marion Tate, our assistant director, has very kindly agreed to step up as interim director to bridge that gap between David and Carlos, so that the company knows they're in safe hands. And Marion is here today. Marion, can you wave? I can't see. So, the 1920 season, as David has indicated, is a very different season. It is a transition season. It isn't David Bintley's season, which ends in June, and it isn't Carlos Acosta's season. Carlos's first season programmed for the company will be the 2021 season. So we decided that this season that will bridge the two directors, that we try and use it to have some fun, to collaborate and experiment with old partnerships and some new friends and partners that we've made, to take us on a journey from David Bintley's leadership to Carlos Acosta's first programme for Birmingham Royal Ballet, which will be the finale of the 1920 season. So, the season opens in September 2019, and we start with a mixed programme of contemporary ballets, including the next world premiere of Ballet Now. And that will be co-commissioned with Queensland Ballet, with the choreographer Jack Lister, a new orchestral music by Scottish composer Tom Harrold, and designs by Thomas Meeker. It will open in Birmingham and then will make its way to Sadler's Wells. And in the spirit of new partnership, as part of that triple bill, we have invited Ballet Black to perform an amazing new work they've created with the renowned choreographer Cathy Marsden called The Suit, to be part of the triple bill with Twyla Tharp's 9 Sinatra songs. Now, for Ballet Black to dance with us, they already have an amazing audience in Birmingham and around the country, and I hope that their audience will come and enjoy them on the main stage with Birmingham Royal Ballet, but also our audience will see their work, their audience will see our work, and we can grow audiences for new and contemporary choreography. We have a short clip here of The Suit, which is Ballet Black's piece by Kathy Marsden. And for Birmingham Royal Ballet, it's really good to give an opportunity to another company the chance to perform on the main stage. Normally when Ballet Black comes to the Hippodrome, they perform here in the Patrick Centre, but this time they'll be on the main Hippodrome stage with us. So at the same time as the contemporary triple bill, between September and November, Birmingham Royal Ballet will also be presenting David Bintley and Galina Samtseva's classic production of Giselle. And we'll be doing that at the Hippodrome, the Theatre Royal Plymouth, who are here with us today, and at Sadler's Wells. As part of the Theatre Royal Plymouth's Family Festival, Birmingham Royal Ballet will also present its new and contemporary version of Peter and the Wolf, which has been created by Ruth Brill, who's a dancer in our company and is a rising choreographic star at BRB. We'll end the year with Sir Peter Wright's classic production of The Nutcracker at Birmingham Hippodrome from the 22nd of November to the 14th of December. And this was Sir Peter Wright's gift to the city, and it continues to draw huge audiences and delight new ballet fans. And nearly 40,000 people saw the show in 2018, and that was the largest ever audience for the show to date. So it continues to be popular. Here's a little reminder of our classic Nutcracker. Now, bearing in mind this is all about partnerships, one of our most successful partnerships over the last 2 years has been with the Royal Albert Hall. And I'd like to introduce Louise Halliday from the Royal Albert Hall to talk to you about the partnership.
We at the Royal Albert Hall have been really, truly delighted to have been able to bring BRB's absolutely spectacular adaptation of Sir Peter Wright's magical production to London audiences and actually beyond. In 2018, we had performances between Christmas and New Year, and 12% of the bookers came from overseas and 42% came from outside London. So it's not just reaching London audiences, we have this wonderful reach beyond that too. Those two short seasons in 2017 and 2018 saw a combined audience of almost 60,000 people, which is not quite as many as 40,000 in a year, but still pretty good, which was 98% of the total available capacity, experiencing the Nutcracker at the Royal Albert Hall. And it isn't just the numbers, as we all know, it is the quality of the production that really matters. 98% of the audiences who we spoke to told us it was excellent or really good. And one person, I like their comment particularly, which I hope is very prescient. They said, "This is now going to be a festive tradition for my family." So watch this space. It's always an absolute pleasure to work with BRB team. We send Carlos many, many congratulations on his appointment as Artistic Director, and we really look forward to seeing how the company thrives under his leadership alongside Caroline. Thank you.
Okay, so you've heard a lot of talking so far, and I'm sure you would like to see some of our artists, musicians and our dancers show us what the company really does best. So the start of 2020 will be a very large tour with the company taking Sir Peter Wright's classic production of Swan Lake around the country. Swan Lake is one of our most popular productions. We will be taking it to Southampton, Birmingham, the Lowry and Salford, Sunderland, and then all the way back down to Plymouth overnight. It gives me great pleasure to introduce... are we having Julia or our dancers next? Brilliant. Okay, great. So I'm going to introduce you to Momoko Hirata, who is one of our principal dancers, who will be dancing with Cesar Morales, another of our principal dancers. They'll be performing the White Swan Pas de Deux from Swan Lake, accompanied by our lead pianist, Jonathan Higgins, on the piano, and Robbie Gibbs, our first violinist in Birmingham Royal Ballet's own very special orchestra, the Royal Ballet Sinfonia.
Good afternoon. I'm Julia Fawcett and I'm the Chief Executive of the Lowry in Salford. And we're really proud that our association with Birmingham Royal Ballet is as old as, well, as we are. The very first Christmas production that the Lowry opened in our opening season was The Stunning Nutcracker. And that was December 2000, and in the 18 years or more since that visit, Birmingham Royal Ballet has developed an absolutely dedicated and loyal audience in Manchester. And that audience not only looks forward to the visits of the company, but for many of them, they see it as the cultural highlight of their calendar. It's just worth remembering for anyone who doesn't know Manchester that well that we don't have a resident ballet company. So the commitment from Birmingham Royal Ballet to be dedicated in their commitment and steadfast in their desire to visit our venue and our cities and develop those relationships has been so important. And I think it's really important to say that it isn't just about the regular ballet goers in terms of the way in which Birmingham Royal Ballet approach visits to other cities and other venues outside of their home. One of the things that we love the most about them is that they're as passionate as we are about growing audiences for ballet in Manchester. And it was so wonderful to see that commitment reconfirmed last week by Carlos in his appointment announcement. And speaking of Carlos, again, like Fiona in the Hippodrome, he's a very regular and beloved figure in our programme at the Lowry, and I can't tell you just how excited we and our audiences were to hear the news last week. In fact, truth be known, we were in the middle of a rather tedious budget meeting when Caroline called with the news. It's true to say screams were heard, not by the finance director. That was just me. So, so we're absolutely thrilled that Carlos is taking on this role. And do you know what? I can't imagine what the future is going to hold for the company and for our audiences, because I think it's going to be so incredibly exciting. I would, however, just like to say thank you to David. I know he's not here today, but I can't tell you what a difference it's made to my city to have the company under his leadership come so regularly and make such a commitment to bringing wonderful work to the city of Manchester. And for that, I, the Lowry, and audiences from our city thank him and the company. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Pearl Chesterman. I'm Director of Engagement and Participation here at Birmingham Royal Ballet, and I lead a team of highly talented and dedicated young people that introduce new audiences to BRB in schools in a variety of community settings. They create amazing opportunities for people of all ages and abilities that spark an interest and understanding of the opportunities and benefits that ballet can offer here in Birmingham and on tour, including our popular relaxed performances and our audio described performances. This season, in addition to everything you've heard Caroline talk about, we've got a very special project which enables children from local dance schools to perform with BRB dancers such as Momoko and Cesar on the main stage in a performance of Swan Lake Dreams. This follows the success of Cinderella Dreams in 2017 and Sleeping Beauty Dreams in 2018. But for this season, we're going to get bigger. Let's have a look at a clip from Sleeping Beauty. So, in 2020, BRB's 30th anniversary year, Swan Lake Dreams will not only be performed on the main stage here at the Hippodrome on the 23rd of February, but also in some of our touring venues through exciting new collaborations with the Mayflower Theatre in Southampton on the 2nd of February and the Theatre Royal in Plymouth on the 31st of March. A cast of approximately 70 selected students from each of the three areas will be offered the unique opportunity to train, rehearse and finally perform in a full-length ballet in costume alongside Birmingham Royal Ballet dancers. It's open to ballet students aged 9+. The Swan Lake Dreams project gives an insight into the company whilst aiming to develop talent and raise aspirations for dancers of all ages. Last time, when we did Cinderella, we had a lady join us who was 76, so we cover all ranges. Auditions will take place between July and October 2019, with intensives and weekly sessions running through from September through till July to the performances in 2020. In Birmingham, the performance will be accompanied by the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire, but I'll leave Paul Murphy to talk a little bit more about that later. So I'd just like to introduce Adrian Vinkham from the Theatre Royal in Plymouth, who's one of our partners. Adrian.
Because I arrived in Plymouth towards the end of the Neolithic era, I was privileged actually to be there under Peter Wright's leadership of Birmingham Royal Ballet, and indeed we had supper together soon after I arrived, and it's delighted to meet your acquaintance again after all this time. And I was at Plymouth when David Bentley was appointed. I was able to welcome him to Plymouth, to the company and to Plymouth, and have done so many times since. And so it's just terrific to still be around to catch the wave of distinctive creativity that will undoubtedly come under the stewardship of Carlos Acosta. And like everybody else in the world, we are so excited about that. The Theatre Royal in Plymouth has a particular challenge. As the only #1 theatrical auditorium between Bristol and New York, if it does not stage a particular genre of work at the large scale, then that people in that region do not have access to it. And so 29 years ago, we were faced with the challenge of how could we provide a regular supply of national and international quality ballet for people living in the far southwest. And that was the start, right at the beginning of the start of, in fact, Birmingham Royal Ballet, of the partnership with Birmingham Royal Ballet that has seen the company visit Plymouth twice a year since then, bringing world-class ballet. It is a decision and a partnership we have never regretted for one moment, I can assure you. And what's wonderful about it is that it hasn't been a static relationship and has constantly evolved, and particularly in the last few years, when the work of the company has changed to become much more focused on engaging with our communities and with participants, deepening participation and deepening engagement. Because after all, actually, these people are our audiences, they are our community, but also they are Birmingham Royal Ballet's audiences, because the ballet audience in the Southwest is only Birmingham Royal Ballet's audience, as befits a truly national theatre company. So we look forward enormously to the evolution of that relationship, which certainly in 2020, with the Swan Lake Dreams, we'll see our young people performing as your young people did, with your principals, the full ballet on the Theatre Royal stage. It's very exciting. We're looking forward to it, and we look forward to the next 30 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. And to alleviate barriers to participation, in 2018, we launched the Dreams Bursary Fund, which supports talented young people to fulfil their potential, whatever their background. Bursaries, supported by donations from individuals and organisations, provide talented children with the financial support to take part, giving the best possible chance to let their talents flourish. The Dreams Project however large it might be, supports young people who have already got a passion. But for those that don't, we have our dance track talent identification and training programme, and this is now in its 22nd year. We work with 50 primary schools across Birmingham each year, and the team see in excess of 2,500 children aged 5 and 6. 80 of these children showing potential talent for ballet are offered places on the programme, and we have 135 children from the north, south and central parts of Birmingham currently attending weekly classes. The programme offers free classes, free uniform and opportunities to see Birmingham Royal Ballet in rehearsal and in performance. And children showing particular aptitude and enjoyment in their dance classes are invited back for further year of training, where they are prepared for auditions at Elmhurst Ballet School and the Royal Ballet School Associate Schemes. We've got 32 children currently attending our Dance Track Plus class, which is designed to give extra support to those that are attending those associate classes. Many of the children have performed in Birmingham Royal Ballet's productions in Birmingham and also at the Royal Albert Hall. And in the last 15 years, 17 of the children have been accepted into full-time vocational schools around the country. A huge thank you has to go to the multiple trusts and foundations and individual donors that make these generous donations and make Dance Track what it is. But as we break down the barriers to participation, we also need to change the perceptions of the art form, as we do with Freefall Dance Company. And you saw a clip of them earlier on this evening. Freefall provides high-quality training and performance opportunities for talented adults with severe learning difficulties. We challenge the stereotypical views of both dance and people with learning disabilities through this programme. The company itself meets weekly at Birmingham Royal Ballet Studios, where they hone their ballet technique, prepare for performances, and also their leadership and facilitation skills as they also go out and lead their own outreach programmes. Each year, Freefall showcases its work here in the Patrick Centre, as Fiona mentioned earlier, as well as on screen. They've been seen on international dance screen festivals with groundbreaking performance films. In 2019-20 season, Freefall Dance Company will collaborate with current director of Birmingham Royal Ballet, David Bintley, and award-winning film director Ross McGibbon in a new landmark Dance for Screen project. Further details still to be announced. We just aren't looking to develop talented dancers. We also look to develop talented musicians as well, and that leads me to introduce Mr. Paul Murphy, our senior conductor at Birmingham Royal Ballet, who'll tell you more.
Good afternoon, everybody. Fabulous to have you all here this afternoon. I joined the company as recently as 1992, so a mere fledgling, really. And so I've been very lucky to have the last 3 years of Sir Peter's directorship, all of David's, and now hugely looking forward to Carlos becoming director next season. I haven't got a great deal to say, but I want to just talk a little bit about what we do and what we've got coming up. The company has always been very proud and continues to be proud of its live music policy. We aim to perform everything live with a very occasional exception of things that are conceived to recordings. That is something, as I say, which will hopefully continue for the very long future. The beating heart of that live music policy is the company's dedicated and special orchestra, the Royal Ballet Sinfonia. This is Britain's busiest ballet orchestra. They play every performance for the company here in Birmingham and on tour. They also regularly perform with the Royal Ballet at Covent Garden and for visiting ballet companies, international companies in London. We are thrilled, as always, to have them. They are a great asset for us. The orchestra is led by music director Koen Kessels, who is also the music director of the Royal Ballet, myself as principal conductor, and conductor Philip Ellis. And in addition, we are looking to the future and encouraging young conductors to come forward into the world of dance. We've actually gone a stage further by developing the Constant Lambert Conducting Fellowship, which is now in its first year. This is a collaboration with the Royal Ballet, and the the recipient has a 2-year fellowship paid and has a chance to observe and perform with both companies under mentorship. The first recipient, Thomas Jung from Germany, is proving to be a great success for us. Also, we have 4 very strong and dedicated repetiteur pianists in the company, led by principal pianist Jonathan Higgins. Next season is a very exciting season, as you will have heard already. We have many things to look forward to, notably the 2 commissions in the Ballet Now scheme. That means we get introduced to 2 new composers, which you may have heard about already. Firstly, Tom Herald, a young Scottish composer, in fact, born in 1991, if you're really interested, very young indeed. Up and coming, he's already had a BBC Proms commission and has had his works performed by major symphony orchestras and chamber ensembles in the UK. And the second composer is Paul Inglishby, who's a significant and award-winning film and theatre composer. He's already had a ballet collaboration for the Royal Ballet at the Linbury with Will Tuckett in a piece called The Thief of Baghdad, I think back in 2008. We're very much looking forward to both those collaborations. And just to mention briefly that the last Ballet Now composer, Kate Whitley, has recently been awarded the Critics Circle Emerging Talent Award, so we're thrilled to hear that recently. Also next season, dancers from the company will go to perform a special Tchaikovsky evening at the Royal Albert Hall, not accompanied by the Royal Ballet Sinfonia on this occasion, but accompanied by the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra and conducted by Barry Wordsworth, who is, of course, our conductor laureate. So another connection there. In February, we have our continued partnership with Symphony Hall in Birmingham, and we have our very special evening of music and dance where the orchestra get to go on the concert platform, play popular symphonic classics, as well as members of our company dancing pas de deux and ballet extracts. And next year, the evening is on Valentine's Day, February the 14th, so we'll find suitably romantic repertoire for the evening. We will also visit the Royal in Derngate, Northampton, for a repeat performance, which we've done before. Now, as Pearl mentioned, Swan Lake Dreams is coming up, also at the beginning of 2020, and as a special partnership, which we're continuing to develop with the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire, we will use their symphony orchestra to play the Swan Lake Dreams performance here in the Hippodrome, which I will conduct myself. So we're very much looking forward to that. Lastly, as well as the new work, we are always thrilled to revisit the classics. The classics are very important for every ballet company, for dancers, but they're also important for musicians. It's a chance for our orchestra to shine with many fine soloists. Robbie, who you've just heard, our concertmaster, also our many other fine principals and soloists. And next season is very special because we get to add a new ballet to our canon of repertory, and that is... I'm not telling you. Oh, sorry. I'm not telling you. Caroline's going to tell you. Carlos can tell you, yes. But classics are equally important as new work to us, and we're very much looking forward to carrying on that tradition. If I could just finish with just one thing, and that is a personal thing for myself. I've known Carlos for a long time. We've worked together over the years, first of all, when he was a dancer at the Royal Ballet, a young dancer, I have to say, when we first worked together. Then many galas we've conceived together, and latterly and very excitingly with his Acosta Dancer Company. Personally, I'm thrilled about this collaboration. It's a huge coup for us and a very exciting prospect, and I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic success. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're running over time. I know what you've all been waiting for. You've been waiting to hear from Carlos Acosta. So the finale of our 2019-20 season is a special festival celebration curated by Carlos Acosta. It will be the first program he's selected for the company. It's a little strange because Carlos and I were talking about this festival before he'd even considered applying for the job as director. So I will introduce you to Carlos, who can talk to you about his programme, which will be at Sadler's Wells and at Birmingham Hippodrome in June 2020. Carlos Acosta.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, first of all, I just want to say English is still my second language. So if you hear that I don't make much of a sense, I know. It's okay. So I'll do the best I can. Anyway, the first thing I want to say, I want to acknowledge the presence of Peter Wright in the audience. I know that he's been having problems with his back, so the fact that he's here, he made a tremendous effort to be here, and it means a lot. Peter, I'm looking forward to have you by my side and just hear anything that you could bring to my leadership, so it would be much appreciated. At the same time, I want to acknowledge the tremendous contribution that David Bentley has given to the company. He has enriched the repertoire of the company tremendously, and I'm also looking forward to any advices that he could give me going on. So please, let's give an applause to thank you. So the other thing that I want to say is that the Birmingham Royal Ballet and the Royal Ballet history is also my history, because it was because of the Giselle of Peter Wright, his Nutcracker, the repertoire of Ashton Macmillan is that I became the dancer I am. So the history between us is closely intertwined. So now, on with the program. So the program that I'm going to create is actually going to be a festival. And it has done with the intention of sort of giving a boost to the BRB brand. I'm in touch with a lot of artists, TV personalities, philosophers, you name it. I'm in touch with them, and it all will be revealed in due course to come together and be part of this festival. In terms of dance is concerned, the festival is going to have, the program is going to have the full length, my Don Quixote full length. That is a production that I did for the Royal Ballet. I think Don Quixote, it's a must-have for any classical company. It is a feel-good classic, and as you know, ballets, you have a lot of tragedy already, so we must have any feel-good, happy as well pieces in there. And so I'm looking forward for this company to embrace this production. And that's the full length. And then we have the triple bill. The first number of the triple bill, it would be Goyo Montero Chacona. Goyo Montero is Spanish. He is the Staatsopera of Nuremberg director, and him and I had a long relationship. He also it's the resident choreographer at Acosta Danza. And so the idea is that I also do a little bit of dancing in that first number, again, to try to send the message that this is just, the dancers and also myself, that we are in it together, living and going forward. And this is something that's going to give me a lot of pressure to share the dances. Pleasure, no pressure. I know. To share the dance, the stage with the dancers, it gives me a lot of pleasure. And so the second number, it's this wonderful initiative. I think it came from David, Ballet Now, which the second it would be by Daniela Cardim, which it is a Brazilian choreographer, really great, and like Paul Murphy have pointed out, the music by Paul Inglesby. And again, it's going to be a piece that it will be more than half an hour or so, and so I'm looking forward to also be part of that. Working with Daniela and so on to insert it into this vision. And lastly, theme and variations. It is a ballet that celebrates the classical tradition by George Balanchine and music by Tchaikovsky. And with that, you will have an arc of possibilities within the program, going with the time, also finishing with the roots of the company, which would be the classical tradition. And this is for me, and I would like to show you right now an example of these two pieces. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like dancing at the moment. Oh, I miss it terribly. Anyway, well, that's that. It's going to be, I think I'm working closely with Paul, maybe Kun Kessel, to curate a conference, a talk about the music highlighted in the program, Bach, Tchaikovsky, and beyond. And so that will be a program within the festival. Then, I just want to finish just saying that, I'm very thrilled to be here. I think it's a big challenge, and I love big challenges. That's why I'm here. I'm here to like anything I do, I want to bring and cause a great impact, yes? How do I do that? Well, I need help, okay? I cannot do it alone, and I want to sit down with everybody that can bring something to the company. It's not my company. Within the company, I have a job, but ultimately it's about the company. So whoever have any advices, any great idea to lift the brand of the company and to get the company to be the best it can be, they're welcome, okay? I'm looking forward to meet with the city council, to the leaders within the city, to see how can this city can emerge as a powerhouse in the arts, and I don't see why not. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I think we should be more unified. I think unity is a key, and export the vision of what it is to be Birmingham. Because we see the free fall project, but I don't know if New York, they know this pioneer project that is happening right now in Birmingham. I think this is the time, I think, for us to unify and bring everybody together, and how can we deliver a vision, what it is, to be Birmingham from the future, a leader of the art, a force to reckon with in the arts. That's my ambition, and I'm really going to fight for it. I'm gonna be teaming up with whoever wants to give this vision a boost and embrace it. But it's tough time, right now the arts is looking more into diversity, it's reaching out, but the whole world is looking more insular. So how's that going to happen? I don't know. I think that's why we have to come together from all sorts, corporations, donors, city council, everybody, and see how can we do something meaningful that 100 years from now, people could look at us now and say, wow, these people come together in a table and look at the outcome, and that's my ambition. And anyway, I want to fight for that. So thank you very much.